It's time to rectify all these paint issues. First things first, I need to paint the interior. Now the reason being is because we're getting the interior spray on the exterior. At the point of sanding to rectify the exterior, I can remove any overspray. So I'm kind of trying not to do that, but I'd rather do it this way around. So I need to remove all the masking, I need to DA all the interior, I need to obviously clean it, mask back up. We need to mask, instead of masking this side of the windows and the doors, we need to mask the opposite side. I can spray kind of the interior, which I'm going to go for 2K Raptor epoxy again, not epoxy, PU, Bedliner. Easier just say Bedliner. I'm going to spray the Bedliner in there, get that all looking nice, do the door backs as well, leave that to cure. Then once that's cured, remask up and then hit this with razors to remove these big dirty runs. If that hasn't knackered the paint, which there is a very good chance it will because I've never done it before, then it might get another flow coat, which is another 3 coats clear, which means it all needs DAing back and clearing. I'm trying not to do that at the minute. I'm kind of hoping I can just razor the runs, sand them carefully, and then machine polish this and the doors. And then hopefully we're going to try and get the doors on. But yeah, let's just get on with the interior first and just see how it pans out. Is painted, it absolutely stinks in here, but before it fully cures, I want to try and get all the masking off. So that's the plan of action. I'm going to rag the masking off, inevitably find loads that I've missed, and then try and rectify that. So yeah, let's go. With how the Raptor's turned out. Now it's time to obviously concentrate on the defects of the paintwork. Now there's a load of sags, there's runs, there's paint sags, there's orange peel, there's dust, there's pretty much everything from where I've been spraying basically. So plan is to get it up to 1500, hit it with some G3, which is an aggressive cut, hit it with some G10, and then it should in theory be ready to kind of literally wax, polish, whatnot. But before I do any of that, I need to mask off the interior. Now the reason being is because all this sanding is going to be done wet. And this year when I start using a machine polisher, it's going to flick polish everywhere. The last thing I want is on a textured black interior to have kind of any white spots on there, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare to remove. So as annoying as it is, remask up, and then I can start with the bodywork repairs. I don't know if you can see this top one here, but the plan with this one is to do a razor. So the edges of the razor I've sanded on some 400 grit to curve them, and then I've put a little bit of tape which is going to act as a very small kind of spacer, and essentially I'm just going to run in the direction of the drip, or run, which you can see is scraping it off. So we're going to get it down kind of so far, and then I'm going to get onto sandpaper. I mean, to be honest, that noise is horrendous. It's just a horrible, scary process. What I'll say, folks, is try not to get runs in your paint, because this is a proper bum twitchy exercise. I'll be honest, I've got runs under here. I think I'm just going to lightly sand those and leave them in. Reason being is because the windscreen rubber is going to sit round, and I don't really want to sand through any of this. It's quite an intricate design, so I'm probably going to run a bit of sandpaper around the corner, but I'm not going to do too much of that. But yeah, let's try and get this run out, and yeah, hopefully we don't go through. So I've got an absolute monster of a run here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm just going to lightly go over it with some sandpaper to hopefully highlight it. Well, I say it's a run, it's a sag, because I know it's runs. So yeah, that's a bit of a crap one, because I don't think I'm going to be able to razor it. I might be able to razor a couple of the bigger bits out of it, possibly. Oh, I don't know. We'll go with a razor. We'll try and razor it and see. That noise, horrendous. I don't know. I'm going to keep going with this. We're going to keep going with this. Time lapse it up a little bit. We'll see. We go with this 1200 grit and 1500 grit, but I'm going to time lapse it. So it'll be this 1200, 1500. Spent all day yesterday going around the truck removing all the runs. Now the runs have gone. I'll show you there was a big tasty one which was on this A-pillar here. There was a few round the top here. Now I had a little burn through underneath. I've just touched that in with some 2K clear and mixed some of that separately, as was there a tiny little chip. I don't know what had happened. I don't know. Like, I think it was when I was using the razor blade. I chipped in here, so that was the only other like little error, but I've just kind of dabbed some paint in that, tried to buff it back a little bit, but I don't want to go too crazy. Doesn't really matter if it's not perfect, because I mean, look, the whole truck's supposedly patinaed, so I'm not too bothered at this stage. The only problem I have got is where I've sanded all the runs, and kind of all around the edges I need to be careful on, annoyingly. I used the sandpaper which I ordered off Amazon. Now I couldn't leave the house, I'd done it by like 1 p.m. next day, I was desperate for it. But I think the sanding paper has been graded completely wrong, so I've been going around with 1500. However, the marks left by that I can't polish out with 1000 on a proper pad. So I think where all the kind of runs and stuff were, there are going to be scratches on the bodywork once I polish it up, so that's fucking annoying. But at the same time, it is what it is, it's a patina truck, so I'm kind of gutted because it's a lot of hard work gone into it. I'm going to try and buff out as much as I can. So we've got G3, which is obviously a hard cut. And then we've got a finishing compound, which I assume is like a fine cut. And then I'm going to obviously wax and polish it. But I think the scratch is going to be there. Obviously, you can then put polishes, and that got filler. So I could hide the scratches if I wanted to, but we'll just see how it goes. So I'm going to first off get some G3 on the mop. I'm going to do it wet, hopefully not burn through the paint. Because that's another issue, and then yeah, we're just going to send it, do that, see what it looks like. It's going to get G3'd anyway, but I'll stop so you can kind of see, G10, sorry, I'll stop so you can see it after the G3, after the G10, once the wax is applied, and that's it. So let's start the mop. I'm going to get covered head to toe in white stuff, as you can see, hence why I've left all the masking up in the garage, because it's going to go absolutely everywhere. So let's go. So we're finished with the G3. As you can probably see, there's a bit of a shine to it. That's a bit of dust on top from where it's been flicking stuff up. But it has got kind of a nice kind of finish. You can probably see by my really bad wrinkly forehead. You can see it in there. So yeah, the G3 has been done. We're going to do a mop head change. I'm using these mop heads if anyone's interested. Just that brand. I cannot pronounce that at all, but it's a good brand. Those mop heads, and we're going to use G10. So we finished with the G10, gone round that, just done like a single coat. Now I'm not trying to get it perfect, there is going to be orange peel in it, but as you can probably see by the reflection here, it ain't bad at all. So I'm happy with it. Now what I'm going to do, a lot of people probably would ceramic coat at this point and stuff, but I'm not really bothering that. I'm going to go old school, chuck some carnauba wax on it, and then jobs are good, and pretty much the cab and the doors are done. I want to chuck some soundproofing in them. I also want to wax all the cabs, so that's kind of next on the list. I'm going to chuck some wax all in the doors as well, and then obviously I can then store the cab outside while I'm working on the chassis inside. The plan is to kind of move it out for the day, bring it back in, move it out, and that kind of thing. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, which is why I want this kind of protected as best as possible. So let's chuck some carnauba on, let's see what it looks like afterwards, and yeah, that's pretty much the end of it.